Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining this live broadcast to learn more about Remake Learning Days. My name is Sunanna Chand. I'm Learning Innovation Strategist for the Remake Learning Council, and I'm also working hard to make sure that Remake Learning Days is a great experience for everyone involved. So thank you so much for joining us. A few notes before we start on Google Hangouts on Air. There should be a little tab on the left-hand side of your screen that says Q&A, and that's for asking me questions. I'll try to answer as many questions as I can in this short time that we have together, but if you can include your email in the question, I can also get back to you after the broadcast. Another note is that on the right-hand side of your screen, you should see a showcase section that looks kind of like this. And I'll be referencing links in that showcase section as we go along. Again, I can post this afterwards and send it out to the network so that you can see this afterwards in case for some reason you don't see the links appearing now. So I want to go through and answer some frequently asked questions that we get about Remake Learning Days. And the first one is, how many events are there exactly? Our goal was to reach 100 events across the region, and we're now at 260 events across Southwest Pennsylvania and West Virginia. There are over 90 events just in the city of Pittsburgh alone across 20 neighborhoods. But there are also over 50 events in West Virginia, and there are events happening outside of Allegheny County as well, like in Washington County and Westmoreland County. So we are so excited by this terrific response. We're really hoping that wherever a student lives in this region, he or she and their parents can find some place to experience innovative learning right in their backyards. Another question we get is, how do I find events near me? And there are a couple ways to do this. I included a link in the showcase section of the Hangout. That's the schedule of events for Remake Learning Days. If you go to the filter at the top of that page, you'll see a screenshot here. You'll see that you can click on location and then click on a number of different places. And then you hit go, and you'll actually see all of the events that are happening in that location. Another way to do this is, if you're on the schedule page, go to the very, very bottom and you'll see a map. And this map is interactive. You can zoom in, zoom out. You can click on each one of the links to figure out more information for each one of those events. You can also find out more information by clicking on each individual location as well. Another question we get a lot is, how do we register for events? Do you register for all of Remake Learning Days or for specific events? So each event host has decided whether or not they'd like to have a registration page for their event. This one, the Youth Leading Change event, actually does have a registration page. You can see the arrow pointing to a purple box that says register for this event. And if the event page has that box, it means that they have a registration page. If they don't, it means that they don't have a registration page and registration is not required. So make sure that you go online and check the events that you want to go to see if there's a registration page listed there. Another question we get a lot are all events open to the public? So the answer to that question is no, although most of them are. You'll see below the register for the event in the about section of each event page that it'll say, this is open to the public or it's not. This event, the Youth Leading Change event, is open to the public, but you will see that some events are not. So this is a Families Code event at South Fayette Township School District. It says it's not open to the public, but it is open to families of that school district. So it gets a little fuzzy there. If you're confused as to whether or not an event is open to parents and families of that school district or not, you can send an email. I'll show my email at the end of this session, and I can find out for you. Usually, if a event is happening at a school district and it says it's not open to the public, it's generally open to parents and families of that school district. Another question is, are all events free? And the answer to that question also is no, although more than 90% of events are free. But I thought I'd show you an example of an event that's not happening at Tech Shop Pittsburgh. All of the events have an admission right above the location. So you should be able to see if it costs anything and if you'll need to be prepared for that. But again, most of the events are free and open to the public. Another question we often get is, how do I find professional development opportunities? There are over 40 professional development opportunities for educators happening during that week, all over the region. And so the best way to find that is, again, go to the schedule page and the filter, and filter for educators and innovators, and then click go. What you'll find is a list of lots of events that are green or blue. What you want to look for are the blue opportunities. Those are professional development opportunities. And if you sort and find all the blue opportunities, those are going to be your professional development ones. The same is true for the map. If the icon is blue on the map, it means it's a professional development opportunity. Again, there are over 40 across the region, and the vast majority of those are also free. Another question is, there still time to submit events and commitments? There is still time, although to submit an event, you won't be able to take part in the full extensive marketing campaign that's happening right now, but there certainly is room for more events if you are in a community that you feel really needs one or isn't represented, or you just have another event you'd like to host. Feel free to click on the host link at www.remakelearningdays.org. If you have a commitment, which is basically just an announcement for what you plan to do for the coming year that supports innovative teaching and learning, you can click on commit and still submit commitments as well. Another question we've gotten is about out-of-town visitors. A lot of people are expecting out-of-town visitors during Remake Learning Days because they're hosting such incredible events, and people are coming from, I've heard people are coming from China, from Ohio, from Washington, from all over the place. And so if you do have out-of-town visitors, we'd love to know about that. In the showcase section of this Google Hangout, you'll see a form, a link to a form where you can fill out information about your out-of-town visitors. And if you have any questions about that, again, my email is going to be at the end of this webcast. How to share information about Remake Learning Days. So definitely follow at Remake Learning on Twitter and Instagram, as well as check out facebook.com/Remake Learning, and you can share via social media there. The hashtag is Remake Days. And you'll also see in the showcase section a link to a Google Drive folder. This is a public Google Drive folder that has logos, photos, a social media toolkit, and lots of other things you might need to help you share information about Remake Learning Days. If you're hosting an event or if you've made a commitment already, these are great things to share via social media. And make sure you use the hashtag Remake Days so we can find it and share it as well. So that's all that I have for this very brief presentation. Let me see if we have any questions that came in. I don't see any questions, but if you do think of any questions after this broadcast, please feel free to email me, Sunanna, Sunanna, at remakelearning.org. And I'll be sure to answer you as soon as possible. Thank you for all you're doing to share and talk about and host events and do all these incredible things for Remake Learning Days. And we'll see you at the next webcast. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening.